Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course for those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. Bitcoin is currently trading at $109,530. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Bitcoin and Ethereum. We will also look over the Bitcoin dominance today. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with cheap taker fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc, which has a similar trading volume to Bitget, OKX and Bybit. But as you can see, I already highlighted you it here, the taker fees are far much lower than on the other top crypto exchanges, and on top of that you can save another 20% on your low taker fees with my referral link, which you can find in the video description. And also 100% zero fees just on mexc, and here you can trade some popular altcoins without any fees on mexc. So let's get to Bitcoin. Bitcoin did a new all-time high and is currently pushing to the upside. Before we have said here we have, oh, I didn't want to put a price tag, I wanted to draw. We have said here this could be a triangle. It broke to the upside, but it was kind of weird because we broke here to the upside and retested the triangle from the downside again. Afterwards we got the push, so the first target got hit, $108,605, so I can take this one out. I also want to take out the yellow trend line because we don't need it anymore. Since we break to the upside even more and more, we had a bullish pennant from the past. This one here is a bullish pennant where we have the pump, afterwards a consolidation within a triangle. It broke to the upside and it got several times its retest. I think 5 times even. So the target of that bullish pennant is the length of the push. And then we put it to our breakout point. I personally don't like it. I like to put the target on the last retest. And here was our last retest. So let me quick zoom in to have it perfectly again. So what is the target of the bullish pennant? The target is the $114,430 for Bitcoin. And that's also fitting with our resistance line. Yeah, this is a resistance line. I will put it here in, let's say in blue. So the dark blue trend line is on the weekly chart. So let's go into the weekly chart. It is connecting all the all-time highs with each other since 2017 with the all-time high 2021 again, and here 2024 and 2025. So don't expect this trend line to be perfect because it is on the weekly chart. If I do a very small mistake by connecting the all-time highs not perfectly, the target changes by a few thousand US dollar. So keep that in mind. It should just be an orientation. But for the push 2024 and the other all-time high in 2025, it already worked twice, so I think it will work a third time. Since we have the bullish pennant targeting the 114,000 US dollar, it is kind of difficult to say where we are going to top out, because we are now in all-time high area. We don't know where is resistance. We don't have any resistance here from the past. We can't do anything there. The only thing we can do is watching and trying to see how Bitcoin is going to go. If we get a pump, for example, and afterwards a consolidation, let's take it like this. I will also take out the arrow. And then we get another push to the upside. Then we can say, okay, we have a support right here. But it has to form. We can't say it now where we are going to have resistance, where we are going to sell off. Because anytime soon, a big player can take his profits. We are in all-time high area. So it's tricky to trade. But for now, I would say if the 107,250 US dollar shouldn't break to the downside. If they don't break to the downside, then the upside potential is still there. I think the 107,000 US dollar. Here we had resistance. Here we had resistance. Now we got the strength to break to the upside. We can use it as support later because we have here a huge fair value gap. As you can see, this is a fair value gap. That's a that's a candle without any price action. Means not every order got filled there, and the fair price is somewhere here. That's why it's called fair value gap. So if we push even more to the upside, I would be careful in the area between 112,500 US dollar to 115,000 US dollar. I will put you here 2 price marks. This is just my feeling. That's my feeling. It's not based on any data beside the target of the bullish pennant and the resistance line, which is connecting all the all-time highs with each other. I don't have any more data. It's missing. We have to build it up. But that's just a feeling I just took from this resistance. 1% to the downside and 1% to the upside, round about that. And also 115,000 US dollar is the psychological mark, and 112,500 as well. So as long as we don't break the 107,250 US dollar, we can get into the box, which I have put you here, the purple one. And let's see if we get the target of the bullish pennant. So before we get to Ethereum, let's talk about the Bitcoin dominance, because we didn't look into it quite a while. So inverted shoulder, head, shoulder formatation, head and shoulders formatation. Broke to the upside. We worked off the length of one shoulder, put it to the breakout point, and we got into that area. So I think that the Bitcoin dominance is slowly, I don't want to say getting an end. I would say we have some downside potential, and if the Bitcoin dominance is dropping, the altcoins will probably outperform Bitcoin. Not every altcoin, but in average, the altcoins are performing better if the Bitcoin dominance is dropping. We just have to see if Bitcoin is selling off. Then the altcoins are going to sell off less than Bitcoin. If the Bitcoin dominance is going up, then Bitcoin is outperforming the altcoins. So Bitcoin pumped up. That's why Bitcoin is at all-time high area, and Ethereum, for example, didn't take out this high yet. If the Bitcoin dominance is decreasing a lot, then we can think about an altcoin season. But everyone is talking about an altcoin season. I don't see an altcoin season incoming. I can say, okay, an altcoin push is probably incoming. But an altcoin season, for that I want to see the 58%, not even 58%. Yeah, the 58%. In my view, the 58% have to drop to the downside. And then we should fall to 40%. Then I would say this was the altcoin season. But so far we are far away from that. But we can expect a small rally for the altcoins if we break the 63.42% to the downside. So let's watch over the biggest altcoin, Ethereum. So I have put you here the green trend line on the it's on the 4-hour chart, or even on the daily chart. Yeah, it's on the daily chart. This is an area where I would say this is a trend line where I would say this is going to get us some resistance, but also support in the future if we break it to the upside. So we have many green trend lines here. I would just make this one, which I have showed you a minute ago. I would just make it, let's make it blue, dark blue. So what we have built up over yesterday was an inverted head and shoulders formatation. Same like we got for the Bitcoin dominance, I would say a few weeks ago. or 1 week, 2 weeks ago. This one breaks currently to the upside. Yeah, we tried it here once. This was the first sign of strength, but we got rejected at the same trend line which we got rejected before. Now we have the second attempt breaking it to the upside. So if we get our candle close over 2,586 US dollar and we don't get another candle close lower than this, instead we can even get down and retest the 2,586 US dollar again. But afterwards, I think we are going to get a push into our resistance trend line, 2,675 US dollar. If we also break it to the upside, then the target of the inverted shoulder head shoulder formatation, which is the length of one shoulder, is most likely getting hit, and that's the 2,725 US dollar. But in reaction to that, if we get into the 2,725 US dollar, then we have here a fair value gap. I will also put you here a price mark so you can see the target of the inverted shoulder head shoulder formatation. And I will switch the target now into the fair value gap, which is between 2,740 US dollar up to 2,780 US dollar. On top of that, we are getting another resistance area from here, which is the 2,800, round about 55 US dollar. So once we get into those areas, I would be a bit careful, because it might be possible that Bitcoin is there at, let's assume Bitcoin is getting its all-time high at 115,000 US dollar. If Bitcoin gets into the 115,000 US dollar, then for sure this would also be the push for Ethereum. But if Bitcoin is going to sell off, I don't mean consolidating, yeah. If Bitcoin is going to consolidate and being in its all-time high area quite a while, then Ethereum has the chance to push very, very high if the Bitcoin dominance is falling at this time. But if Bitcoin is going to sell off 10% within a few days, then Ethereum is most likely getting a huge sell-off and is not going to do a new all-time high. I don't want to say in this bull run, but we have to see what the data is going to tell us. I don't have any data which is telling me we are getting over 2,855 US dollar. Not yet. We have to build it up. So let's switch to the 1 hour chart. What I've also seen is that we still have our head and shoulders formatation. The bearish one, this one here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And the right shoulder looks like to me that we are getting a rising wedge. This one here. This is also a bearish pattern. So I would look for the 2,500 US dollar. If they break to the downside, then the chance is high that we are going to meet the 2,337 US dollar, or even let's say 40 US dollar. If we also break it to the downside, then we should meet the circle areas which I have put you here. But we are far away. We can talk about that tomorrow. It can even reach down to 2,000 US dollar, around about that. But it looks like that we are going to get this push here to the upside, which I have drawn you here. I think that's the most realistic scenario. After that, we have to see if we get into those top areas between 2,735 US dollar to 2,855 US dollar. There I would be careful. There I would wait. Don't trade anymore. No short trades, no long trades, because for sure we can sell off, and then being short is nice. But we can also break it to the upside and get a huge push to the upside. Then I don't want to be in short trade. I want to be long there. So there we have to track what Ethereum is going to do. So far the whole push to the upside looks good to me. And let's see and hope if it's going to be sustainable. Like I said, we have a bullish pattern which broke to the upside, which didn't break to the upside sustainable yet. But it looks like it. The chances are high. but we are also forming a bearish pattern which can break to the downside as well. So Ethereum is 50-50, Bitcoin looks good to me. So see you in the altcoin update.